Hello, and welcome to the Untitled Car Show. I'm your host, Ike. How are you doing on this Thanksgiving Eve? Gobble Day Eve? And, of course, a little bit of technical difficulty there. I apologize for that. Oh, goodness gracious. So, here I am. It's 7:30 at night on Tuesday. There's been a lot of talk about what's the worst day to travel online? Like, how do how bad is it in this area at this time? I can tell you DC, it pretty much always sucks to drive. Today, extra more so. So I'm on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway going northbound. Yes, I realize this is Ike Gripes About Problems, the podcast. The trip should typically take me 45 minutes. According to the Waze, I've been in this traffic for 15 minutes, and I'm going to be in it for at least 15 minutes more. So, that's wonderful. So it got me thinking about, Thanksgiving coming up, travel and everything, and a couple road trip stories and all that. So, to give you an idea of what I got coming up, and this will all tie together. So I think my family, my in-laws to be specific, are the only people on, the planet that celebrate Thanksgiving this Thursday and don't have American football on the TV. I don't understand it. They won't even have a fucking TV on, which is crazy to me. So, growing up, it was always a given. We'd go over, so to give you an idea, we'd go from parents' house, obviously, leave, head out, drive 30, 40 minutes away, to the in-laws' house, or not in-laws, to the mom's side of the family's house. Got to bring a dish, bring the kids. Kids sit at the kids' table, play games, boggle, like a Rubik's Cube, all sorts of fun stuff. And then the adults would be over, main table, eating, having fun. And then everyone would kind of slowly venture over to the football game. And as a kid, we'd probably go outside, play some football. End of November in Chicago, it's cold, but it's not so cold that, you want to go outside and just grin and bear it. And then we'd go over to the father's side of the family, hang out there, finish watching football on the TVs, laugh at the Lions, not realizing how terrible our Bears are. And that was Thanksgiving, and that's kind of how it was. So it'd be, an hour on the road, because we'd go over to my aunt's and uncle's house, my father's older sister, and they lived in the same town as we did. So, you go out, drive 30 minutes, drive back 28 minutes, and they were like 2 minutes from my dad's house. So they'd say it like that at my parents' house. Anyway, so it was, I think that's a fairly generic Thanksgiving. I don't know, be curious. Not a lot of people living out of town at that time, not driving all over God's creation to get there. And then when I moved out here and started dating the missus, the first Thanksgiving I had with them, I was just confounded by it because it's Thanksgiving, but there's no football on, and there's no talking about football because no one gives a crap about football. And I know I'm harking a lot on this, but, it kind of was a topic of conversation today with some friends where it was, well, what the hell do you talk about? It's like, well, The father-in-law, thankfully, I can try and bring up something mechanical and try and get that working. Um, doesn't always work. You're not the most chatty customer on the planet. But the rest of the family, it's hard. And I'm a socially awkward person. I'm sure you can tell if you listen to more than 5 seconds of one of these podcasts. And I just don't know how to talk to normal people. So now, thankfully, with the little one, it's easy to talk about, hey, this is what she's up to, or she just gets up and runs around, and I volunteer to chase her around because Lord knows I'm not losing out on any sort of wonderful conversation by doing that. So, again, they're perfectly pleasant people. This is a short circuit kind of on my behalf, and like what I just don't understand. It's football. You live in America. You turn on football on Thanksgiving. That's what you do. I just don't understand, why you wouldn't. But whatever. It's tradition, especially in an NFC household. Anyway, because it's awkward because half the family, maybe one political leaning, half the family's another political leaning. So you really can't talk politics around them. No one really gives a crap about cars. Oh, you drive a Fiesta. That's cute. That's a good car. Gets good gas mileage, right? Well, yeah, but it's a Fiesta ST, so it's got 200 horsepower. It's 200. That's like a lot. Or is that not a lot? I don't know. Like, I think my Camry has 200 horsepower, or is it 400 horsepower? It's a hybrid. I think that has more. Well, you're. So there's a lot of that, and it's just awkward. I just don't know. I'm not good with people. Just put me in a pit. I'm in, hog heaven. Put me in front of football and fill me up with gravy. That's fine too. It's just so. That brought me to a topic of conversation. So what I'm going to try this year is, we'll see how this works out. I'm not sure. I'm not holding out hope. But road trips. I think like everyone's got a good road trip story. So, it's hard to make everyone in the family happy. Everyone, like what do you talk about? Because now even politics and is creeping into everything. There's politically charged aspects of even football, unfortunately. We're like, well, I don't like blah, 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 because of blah, 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 blah. Like, what do you like watching the game? Yeah, but blah, 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 blah. Like, well, anyway. So, what do you talk about? And I think everyone's got one good road story, at least in them. I think I got more than most, traveling around. So, I'm not sure if I've told this story before, but we're going to regale because it's probably been lost to the ages of podcasting. So, on my 25th birthday, I wanted to take a trip across country. The only person who was nuts enough to agree to do it with me is my cousin, Tim. He is basically a brother to me, and, as far as how close our relationship is. So, he lives in Chicago. I'm living in Maryland at the time. So, still living. Sounds funny when you say it like that, Ike. So, I go, all right, I'm going to go out. I owned a Dodge Challenger at the time. But I kind of wanted a better one. I wanted one with the electronics in it that wouldn't get messed up. So, when I bought the first Challenger, I got $3,000 worth of cash incentive on it. I put that into parts and equipment on the car. So I actually sold the vehicle more than I bought it for, which was, unheard of, but it was a car that was really sought after at the time, and there wasn't a lot of examples out at that moment. So I got my Challenger, the infamous Challenger with all the issues, but it had everything I wanted in it. Of course, airbag light went off the day after I bought it, took it back, they repaired it, went out, drove the next week from DC to Chicago, Chicago to Las Vegas, Las Vegas to San Francisco back to Chicago, and then Chicago back home. So had a great time. So, really, I give that car a lot of crap for all the electrical issues it had, but I really can't think of a better car to have done that trip in. It was big and brash, and it was, comfortable. It made a scene everywhere it went. It was fun to drive, up and down San Francisco. So, and there's a lot of this country, and so I got to Chicago, picked up my cousin, got in the car. So I've been driving for 10 hours, so I'm like, hey, you drive, I'm going to relax a little bit. So he got in, we started heading down Route 66, which is an absolute blast. So we actually veered off and just went through. So the original idea was going to be Route 66, but we veered off because of a bad crash on Route 66, or which really where it was at the time was Route 55. So, the goal is to go here to Vegas and all that and just drive across the country. We're just going to take the interstate. So we got in. First thing he does is he hits the, voice activation button, tries to test the limits of it. And it's just atrocious in that car. It was like, play songs by Modest Mouse. It'd be like, setting English to French, confirm, like, no. Parlez-vous français? Like, shit. Like, set language to English. Like, and it was bad, but it was, like, funny bad. Like, it would just get stuff close, but not quite. And just the roar of that engine down the open, highways, going through Iowa. And it was, at the time, the reason I liked that car is you'd stop, and people would stop, and they'd talk to you. They'd ask you questions. You'd have fun. So we made it to Vegas, and we spent, a day and a half in Vegas. I've never been to Vegas before, and that was a blast, gambling and everything. And then driving from there to San Francisco, getting in San Francisco late at night. The original idea was to go to L.A., but that was the weekend of the Big Dig. We're like, no one's going to drive in L.A., so we diverted north to San Francisco. So, and I think that was a great idea. Even though the Big Dig ended up being Big Nothing, we stopped and we didn't stop. When we stayed in San Francisco, driving those roads in that car is a highlight of my automobile history because we got there, it was quiet, middle of the night, and driving up those streets and just not flooring it, but just driving, 40 miles per hour, I think was the speed limit was 35, we're doing 40. Every little place there's a stoplight, it's a fucking ramp, and you're just getting airborne, getting down, just driving, just having a blast, taking it down that windy S Street, and just having fun with it. And then going from there, stopping off in we're in San Francisco. We stopped in San Francisco. We, Golden Gate Bridge State Park, driving through the windy roads and putting my foot into Pacific for the first time was just phenomenal. It was just such a great trip. We wanted to do Bonneville, but we're starting to get, a little crunchy on time. We wanted to be back at the house by July 4th. So my birthday is on the 25th of June. That was the day, I arrived in Chicago. Trying to make it back by July 4th doesn't give you a bunch of time. So, it is what it is. No, actually, I got there. We headed out on the 24th because we were actually in Vegas on the 25th. I ended up getting a lot of money by betting $25 on the 25 slot in roulette to hit. And I ended up winning $1,000, I think was what it is, whatever the odds are. And it was a great time. So, drinking, having fun, nice hotel room. And just such a fun time. And then one of the best moments in my mind was we stopped next to the world's second largest thermometer in 8 euros on the trunk of the Challenger, and people were rolling by asking us questions. Oh, good. Just got to out of the last bit of traffic into a new bit of traffic. 10 more minutes of traffic, and really haven't gone anywhere. I'm sure you can hear as it kind of gets noisier. I actually finally got up to speed. So it was so fun, so great. My biggest regret of that whole thing, though, is got to my parents' house, spending the week in the parents' house, I was in the shower, I was being an idiot, I was listening to my iPhone. You know, it's a shower stall with a little shelf up top. Put the iPhone up there, was listening to a podcast. iPhone fell in, damaged the iPhone. I lost a ton of pictures, a ton of footage. It's such a sad thing to have lost that footage, but it does make it more special because the memory only exists between, myself, my cousin, and what we did while we were out there. And I do want to do it again coming up. I don't know when or where. There is 24 Hours of Lemons road rally that is Route Sucky Suck, which is the Route 66 course. I think that would be an absolute blast. I'm leaning more towards doing that this year than doing the one Paris to Moscow or Moscow to Paris. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk to the missus. I don't know. Yeah, so that was fun. Just being in the desert around nothing on backcountry highways, built for the Challenger. I'm not saying we sped a lot out there, but, straight stretches of road through Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, I think. I don't even remember my geography that well. It was one of my resounding memories you pull up to this little rest stop up on like a little cliff. So the highway is down below you. You go up a little ramp, up like to a little peninsula, and there's literally just a hole in the ground with a little housing over top of it with a door on it. And that's it. And the last gas station was 75 miles ago. The next gas station's at 75 miles. There's no civilization out there. And my cousin's off using her bathroom. And the only thing you can hear is the engine ticking over. You're going to hear it tick, 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 tick as it's kind of cooling down. And it was such a surreal moment to realize, for 100 miles, probably in each direction, we're probably one of like 5 human beings. And, I just kind of sat there. And we probably sat there for 15, 20 minutes just in silence, just like how dead silence the desert can be. And off in the distance, you could just hear a motorcycle like coming. And you could hear him coming. You couldn't see him like off on the horizon. Just slowly approaches, comes in front of us, and just takes off and leaves. And it's like, wow, like the desert, if you never experienced that kind of like emptiness, is such a weird thing. Like, I'm not claustrophobic, and I'm not afraid of like wide open areas, but I could see in my mind more rationally being afraid of that, because there is nothing. Like if we had a mechanical problem, if that car broke down, there's no cell service, there's nothing, there's no one. All you got is a highway and a hole in the ground, and that's it. and that's crazy to me. So I I loved it, and I loved every moment of doing it. And you know, again, on the way back, we were in, I think, Kansas or Iowa or maybe even Colorado. You know, the high plains, and the Great Plains, and it's flat. And you can like see the curvature of the earth in like farm fields. And as it started getting dark, you know, you don't realize how bright the stars really are until that's all you got. Like I lived out in, you know, central Illinois for a couple of years, and you think, well, it's pretty quiet, and you know, you can see the stars down there. No, like there's crazy, crazy sky when you go out there, and I can see the appeal of like living in a place like that where every night you get this vast, wondrous view of, you know, the universe above you, and you get to kind of see it in all its, you know, glory. And, you know, I'm all for let's reduce light pollution. I want to experience that every day. It's glorious. It's wonderful. So, you know, that's kind of like you can talk, and I could sit and I could tell, you know, road trip stories. You asked me, you know, what was your favorite road trip? What was the worst moment on a road trip? You know, I've had those. I've had, you know, you start road tripping for a while, and you don't know if that's a fart or a shit, and you gamble and you lose. I've had those moments. I've had moments where you're just trying to hold out for a rest stop. You just don't know. You get there, you know, and it's just an explosion. There's a lot of pressure behind that hose, and you just make a mess of yourself and everything around you. I do like and the reason I think I'm drawn to endurance racing is there's this connection of man and machine, and you get so in tune to it, you know, road tripping. It's such a fundamental connection between you and the car because, again, when your car gets into an accident, you don't say, my car had a crash. You said, I had a crash. I got into an accident. There's such a fundamental intermingling understanding of you in a vehicle when you road trip that I think transcends, you know, people who are into cars or aren't into cars. You spend 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours. I've done all of those in a car. You bond with it. You can't help but, like, your brain and it are connected. You're, you know, leaving marks on its interior. Its seats are making marks on your back. You're woven into it. And I'm hoping, I'll report back on Friday, this kind of transcends that aspect of, you know, the road trip. Like, that can cut through all barriers. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you do. There's a road trip story out there with you. And I encourage you, if you're listening and you got a good road trip story, send it to me on Twitter. I would love to hear it. I don't care if it's a long-ass thread. I'd love to hear road trip stories, and I want to hear good ones and bad ones and disasters. And that's kind of my hope for Thanksgiving, is to pull that out of people. And if you're like me and you're dreading hanging out with the in-laws, maybe this is a good way for you to get some good conversation out of them, get some good car conversation out of them. You know, who cares? I mean, like when we were kids, I think everyone's got this story. Uh, when we were kids living in, you know, right outside of Chicago, driving from there down to Orlando to go see, you know, Disney World. You know, load everyone up in the van. We're heading to Disney World. You know, or, you know, people I know from my high school would load up their family and they'd go to the or to the Badlands of Indiana or Michigan, wherever the hell those are, or up to Wisconsin Dells, or, you know, out to like some pond in like Lake Geneva, or they would go out to, you know, a fishing spot in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. There was all this, you know, traveling as a kid, and I think it's different now with all the screens and everything, but because people don't dread the road trip anymore like they used to. Like, loading up all the kids into the car, that's going to be a disaster. Yeah, well, it cost me $800 to put everyone on a plane, Craig, and I'm just not going to subject myself to that. So I'm going to put everyone in the car. We're going to get down there, and I told the kids, no pee stops, you know, but my dad tried putting a porta potty basically into our conversion van, which was just a disaster. You know, but I think it's a family bonding time now. It's such a fun experience. You're in the car, you're driving, you got your family with you. There's not a lot of moments now where you get, you know, yourself, your significant other, your kids, the car, at the same time, with the same objective. You get to do what you want. They can be doing whatever the hell else they want to do in a car now, because with technology, the sky's the limit, you know. And with cars, you know, 4, 5-row, 7-passenger vehicles, they're great vehicles. You know, if it's a bad road trip, it makes good memories, you know. People vomiting, people getting car sick. I threw up on a road trip. I threw up in my parents' Camry going back from the taping of the Bozo show. Bozo the Clown, like, with his Bozo buckets and all that stuff. It's just, you know, there's so many good stories, and don't let them die off. Don't let them go away. I might add a new segment to the show with the Inside the Actor Studio questions about, like, what's your favorite and least favorite memory from a road trip? Because I don't think it's a uniquely American thing, but I think most Americans have done one, liked it. Like, there's a road trip you have as a kid. There's a road trip you have as a, you know, I guess 16 to 26-year-old. There's a road trip you have as a married couple, and a road trip you have as a, you know, parent. And they're all vastly different. And, like, the great thing is, I don't know, maybe this isn't my DNA a little bit when it comes to being an explorer, you know, because I come from the Midwest. Maybe DNA is the wrong word for it, because my father's directly from Italy. But you're in the Midwest. It's go west, young man. Like, go make a name for yourself. Go homestead. Go explore. And, you know, I have a well-documented dislike of the ocean and beaches and all that stuff. But there is a part of me that wants to explore, see new things, experience the world. And I think that's, you know, in us as people. And, you know, Thanksgiving, celebrating a feast held by a bunch of people who were basically explorers. They left their homeland, traveled across the sea, settled a new place, ate some turkey, maybe a few years after committed some genocide. But let's remember the good times. But it's so that's my hope. That's my hope of let's get people talking about road trips. I think that's the safe family conversation. And if you're traveling long distance today, you know, and while you're listening to this, it may suck depending on where you are. You may be, you know, stuck in traffic trying to get somewhere. And that's the thing I never understood. So, you know, it was a little different once I moved out to Maryland. All the rest of my family's back in Chicago. I never really understood, though, traveling for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving always seemed like let's stay here, let's stay close by, let's watch some football, let's get, you know, drunk on some turkey. And I get going back home, seeing family, but that always seemed more like a Christmas thing to me. So, I don't know. I always did enjoy, I knew a lot of people from the area who were transplants, and we'd have like transplant Thanksgiving, you know, instead of going back home, you know, because we love our family, but it's not a major holiday to, in my mind, to travel 500 miles to go back and see someone. Maybe 100. Even that's pushing. I mean, we all love our family, but is it worth going interstate to go see them? Maybe that state's Rhode Island, but, you know, it's kind of like, if you're not going to, because then you got to deal with Black Friday, traffic, and then what do you do on Friday? Because you really can't go out shopping, you really can't go out and do anything fun with the family on Friday because everyone's trying to slit each other's throat for a deal on a VCR or whatever the hell people buy these days. But that's another thing I don't understand. I was talking about this with some friends today. I never had gone out and done Black Friday shopping. It never made sense to me. Like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to fight people, yeah, for a toy, for an event that's a month away. Like, I get that it may be 80% off. There's a calculation I do in my head of, you know, I don't care if you're a salary employee, if you're a McDonald's employee, we all have an hourly wage. Like, let's just say you make $15 an hour. That's what they want the new minimum wage to be. So let's just say you make $15 an hour. You're going to go out and buy a toy that may be $30 when it's new or fully marked up. It's 80% off when you're waiting in line overnight to buy that product. The rest of it, from then until Christmas season, it'll probably be marked down, let's say, at some point, probably 50% off. And is it worth standing in line for 3 hours, you know, getting up early, going out there 3 hours, all that discomfort to save, you know, what's an extra $12 basically, going from 50% to 80%, if it's even that, $10. No, you're worth more than that. And that's, well, I'm going to go out, I'm going to buy a bunch of shit. Now you're starting to make sense, but all those great deals go away. They go out the window because you have everyone else is going, this is the important thing to me, and I'm going to go there, I'm going to get that. So now everyone else is just kind of left picking up what's left. And at the end of the day, you're spending extra hours out and about to get these deals, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, well, like maybe you're buying a TV. Maybe that TV is 80% off. It's a $1,000 TV. Okay, go out and get a $200,000 TV. But you're going to be fighting everyone else for it. And it doesn't make sense to me. I'll find another way to get a coupon. I'll, pay a little bit more. It doesn't make sense. And now they say that's not even the best time to get a lot of deals. It's like 3 weeks before Christmas or like immediately after the holiday if you're buying a big ticket item. That's when you do it, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, it just mind boggles me. Like, there's people who car shop on Black Friday because they put good deals out. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know. And again, it just doesn't make sense to me to do it. So if you do go out and do it, though, please be safe. Nothing makes me sadder than seeing people die or get hurt for an object, for a thing, for a time of year that's supposed to be happy and fun and joyous. I wanted to go out, I want to get this toy for my little one, and I don't make a lot of money, and I'm going to brave everyone, and then they end up getting trampled or stomped on, worse, because everyone's jumping on the bit, but I'm going to be a good mommy, and I'm going to get my little one that toy. And it's just such a tragic tale to me, and it's like, for the want of money, for anytime someone gets hurt or injured, and it could have been avoided, it's a tragedy. When it's, trying to do a nice thing for someone else for a holiday, that's when it really, breaks my heart. And so just please, I say it at the end of every show, but be safe out there. And God, the world we live in these days, who knows what may happen. God, I hope I'm wrong on that one, but there's nut jobs out there everywhere. You're going to an event. Everything's a motherfucking target now. Just keep your head on a swivel. Don't be dumb. Don't get crushed for something stupid. Don't fight anyone. It's not worth it. Live to fight another day. That's my standing up on a soapbox, being, Mr. Safety. Such a tragedy. So, we're through with the traffic. I hope you are too, where you're at. Please send me road trip stories. I love to read them. I might read them on air this Friday. If you have a topic or a suggestion for the show, let me know. I will answer those on air. Again, you can get a hold of me at Untitled Car Show on the Twitter, our Facebook, same place. Our email is untitledcarshow@rightfootdown.com. Make sure you follow our West Coast correspondent, Ryan West, at RyanNader122. For all of you out there, please have a good night, have a good evening. Wherever you are, whatever time it is there, thank you so much for listening. Happy Turkey Day, or if you're in Canada, I think it's in a week. Be safe out there. Be safe driving. Be safe on Black Friday. Have a good one. Thanks for listening.